What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction, and in this one we have the Bosnia kidnap story. The AK was in my mouth from SAS Sergeant Major Mark Billingham. Can you imagine, bro? Like, literally, like someone holding an AK in your mouth. Like, in that moment that you have to be thinking, like, it's over. This is literally it. I'm going to die here. So I'm very, very intrigued at the title to hear this story. Before we jump in, if you happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and let's see what we got.
Something was not right, and I knew it. And then as we went a bit near, I thought, this is not right at all. And then all of a sudden, boom, surrounded. AK-47s all around us. Boom, got us. And they just sat there, just like nodding and looking at me. And then one at a time, we're getting dragged into this room. And there's two guys, one behind a desk, not saying a word, just staring at me out. And then the other guy in perfect English going, "Who are you? You are not UN, you are Special Forces."
Welcome back to Inspire Change with Jordan Mulligan, and today's episode is with the amazing Billy Billingham. You might know him from SAS Who Dares Wins. Today's episode was powered and sponsored by Huel, a quick, affordable, nutritionally complete source of food with everything that your body needs. Go to the link in the description where you can find exclusive offers. Thank you to Huel for supporting the podcast. Let's dive into the episode.
Let's go with a brief snippet, because I'll definitely come back down and shoot this. But the Bosnia kidnap story, then, just from your perspective.
So basically, the early days of Bosnia, which is typical fucking regiment thing, the Bosnia War kicks off. The regiments asked to be involved. At the time, it was NATO, UN basis, so we didn't really have a role other than observers. Go out, find out what's going on in case it escalates anymore through Europe, all that sort of stuff. So the job we had was unusual for the regiment. It was, surveillance gathering to a degree, but supporting more UN and making sure that people are doing, and who's doing what, who's doing violations from being on the ground. What I would say about it was a fucking dangerous job, very dangerous, because we didn't really have any massive support. We didn't have the rest of the regiment. We were very small numbers, gathering intelligence, all that sort of stuff. And one minute, there was three factions all fucking fighting each other. It was a real mess out there. You got the Croats, Serbs, and the Muslims all having goals at each other, cleansing each other's areas, all that sort of stuff. So we were finding all that sort of stuff out. Over the period of time of being there, people started to trust us because we'd go where nobody else from the UN would go. We were literally going through minefields, into combat areas. I know it was crazy. We were getting shot at, we were getting blown up. Mad risk when I look back at it. But that's what we had to do, and that's what we did. It's kind of exciting, and that's what we should be doing. And that was
crazy.
The only way you
kind of exciting is absolutely crazy to me. Like, oh my God. Yeah, when they say SAS elite or the elite, like, they not playing, bro, because that kind of exciting. Like, that'd be absolutely terrifying in my eyes.
Get ground truth, and we were. And then coming back and obviously giving all that information to the headquarters of the UN within our sectors, so they could say, right, this is ground truth, this is where the front line is, this is who's pushing forward, this is what's potentially going to happen. And that was all from us. So that's kind of the stuff we were doing. And I think we kind of got used to the troops on the ground, and they got used to seeing us, because we're quite fucking ballsy, to be honest. And it was towards the end of the conflict in Bosnia where the role was going to change. He was going to switch from UN to I4, which is more of an aggressive role. Okay. And basically, the international force saying, "You're done with this now. We're fucking stopping it. Okay. It's got to be sorted out." Just before around that time, a good friend of mine, Mick, comes out from the squadron to join me. I've already been out there 4 or 5 months, I think, or whatever it was. So I know the area pretty well. So Mick comes out to join us, and we had the ID cards, which are kind of fake ID cards at the time. I don't know whether we were given them or we made them. I don't really know. But on the ID card, my number and Mick's number only were like 1 digit out. So it was like, oh, you must have come in at the same time. I was 001. You were 002, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
There's no relevance to that till a bit later on. We're out there, and
so I can't wait to hear the relevance about that. If that's like the thing that gave them away, if that's Because if that's the thing that gave them away, like, who's making these? Like, why wasn't these details looked at? How was this overlooked? You're asking all these, but I don't know if that's the thing that gave them away. Let's continue the story.
It's getting towards the end of the war, and we've found a location, kind of historic location, where we can bring in all the factions together, all the generals from each force together to shake hands, call it a day, hand over whatever, and end the war. That was the plan.
Okay.
We'd had 3 or 4 of these meetings, and they weren't going too well, because there's still a war going on. And basically what I used to do, one of my jobs with the team that we had, at the location where this meeting was it was in the middle of a battlefield. So you've got to have a picture of this. There's literally, a front line over there, front line over there, they're all fighting each other. Somewhere in the middle of that, which was pretty dangerous, which actually was in a minefield, by the way, we brought in the troops, and we'd create a square with these tank-type vehicles. And then I and whoever else would go down, dangerous as shit, through the minefield to the front line, with the trenches or the bunkers where the Serbs were. And, we've come in peace, meet their general and bring him in.
Oh, my
and
days.
We'd done this a number of times, and they kind of got used to it. And we got, if I'm honest, a bit blasé about it, because I knew the ground, I knew the area, all that sort of stuff.
Hey, when you out there, you know better than I would know. Can't get blasé, can't get comfortable. Keep your focus ready, keep your guard up all the time. Be prepared at all times. But my guy's saying, I guess when you do something so much, it just kind of force a habit at this point. You're not paying as close attention as you did at the beginning. You're not looking out for certain things. But they just got blasé with it. This is what we do all the time. Easy. Let's just go another day.
New guy Mick's come in. I'm orientating him. He's not a new guy in terms of he's been in the regiment longer than me. New to this theatre. Yeah. So I'm kind of chaperoning him, showing him what I know. Got a bit blasé, and then on one particular day, it's that moment in life when you know something ain't right. The hair's on the back of the neck sketch. So we're walking down through the minefield. We brought in the Croatian guy, we brought in the Muslim general, we're going to meet the Serb. And they were always the more aggressive but professional, the real hardline people. So as we're going down there, I remember walking down the track around the mines, and I'm looking at where the bunkers are at the front position, and straight away that third-party awareness, something was not right, and I knew it. I knew it, but I'd let the snowball roll. Because I thought, well, I've got Mick here. I'm trying to, not show off, but I'm showing him the ropes. But I knew something weren't right. It just didn't feel right.
You always got to trust that gut instinct. You got to go with that gut. Do not ignore it. Listen to it. Your gut, that third-party interference that made the neck hairs on your neck stand up, it was screaming at you. It ain't right. Listen to it.
There was not the normal amount of people on the... In fact, there was hardly anybody in the front part of the trenches, which is very unusual for a front line, of course. And as I got a bit closer, I thought, we'll go a bit nearer. And then as we went a bit nearer, I thought, this is not right at all. And then all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, boom, surrounded. AK-47s all around us. Boom, got us, grabbed us, run us over the line. So I'd never been that side of the Serbian border before. Over the Serbian border, and into what looked like an old cottage, bungalow. And then we're kind of outside the bungalow, and they're screaming and shouting at us, kind of aggressive. Took the weapons off us. We only had pistols because we had to come with peace. We're not here to fight, that sort of thing. Took the weapons off us, took bits and pieces off us, quick, almost strip search, go out, get back, and then took us into this building. And it was one of the weirdest moments ever, because we went into this building, as I remember it, and there's a big wooden table, there's like benches around the side, and they throw us onto this bench at the back end, just slam us down, and then went to, like, if I looked at them, they're like, wouldn't speak, they kept swinging the fingers and pointing, and I remember looking at them, and it was kind of a dim lit room, and they all had massive beards, they looked like big, proper people.
And these, I can't be caught in this situation, bro. There would have started to be a stench in that room because your boy probably would have crapped himself out of that. Just that fear, like this is it, like it's over, like they're going to kill us, like that would have been going through my head, but he just say yes. So you know what I'm saying? He's trained. He's trained for all kinds of situations and scenarios. So I'm intrigued to hear what happens next.
There's about 8 or 9 of them in there, all got AKs, of course, and they just sat there, just like nodding and looking at me. Anyway, so there's me and there's Mick, and my head now is spinning through a world of emotions. I've gone from shit, I fucked up, to, feeling stupid because I've led us into this and I shouldn't have done, to feeling guilty because I weren't so bothered about me. I was more concerned I've got Mick in this mess.
I feel that.
And then I went through, not cockiness, but a calmness of, hang on a minute, we're okay. And I could speak the language. I'd learnt the language. So I tried, I was like, yeah, some Billy Kakos there. And they obviously knew and they just went,
oh, Lord.
Like this big monster of a man. And I was just, and I could feel Mick going, we're in this shit. And now the emotions are gone.
Thinking, God dang, it's my first day. He taking me through the realms and this already on my first day.
From what I've just all spoke about to, fuck, we're in this shit. I don't really know where this is going. Then in my head, I'm thinking, I've got a map in my pocket. And you never mark a map, but because this was a UN thing, I had marked it. And there's nothing really, but in my head I'm thinking, I've marked a map. They're going to fucking, think I'm a spy or whatever. I'm going to get whatever. So I'm really concerned, but for whatever reason, when the searchers, they didn't take this map.
I hope you're enjoying this episode so far. Today's video was sponsored by Hume, a quick, affordable, nutritionally complete source of food with everything that...
Anyway, next thing, after a period of time, I can't remember how long we're in there, we get ragged out, she fucking dragged out, thrown in the back of this old 4x4 Pajero thing, thrown into the back seat, slammed against each other, we're kind of trying to make contact and the like. They've got a driver and what looked like a military police type person. He was in all black kit and he's got an AK and he's in the front seat, kneeling in the front seat with the AK in the back pointing at us. I'm sat there and the next thing is I went to say something and he's pushed the barrel into my mouth. So I'm sat with the barrel in my mouth like this. Mick sat next to me and we're driving out and going somewhere. I don't know where we're going. Kind of at speed as well, over these bumpy tracks. And I'm thinking, that AK's in my mouth, his finger's on the trigger, but then after about a minute or two, he takes the safety catch off and cocks it. And again, weird emotions and surreal moment. I was like, what a wanker. He's on the front line, he hasn't even made his weapon ready, because that's the first thing when you're on, you've got to be ready. And he wasn't, and then I thought, hang on a minute, that's in my mouth. And I'm like, shit. And we're bouncing, he's got his finger on the trigger, and I think any minute now, this is...
Yeah, his finger's gonna slip, and he accidentally pulled his trigger, and that's it. That's a wrap. I can't imagine that being the thought, though. Like, what a wanker, he hadn't even got his weapon ready yet, but of course, that's where his head's at right now. I think it's like mine. It's not in a state of shock because it sounds like he's still thinking, but he's thinking some thoughts you wouldn't expect someone to think in this situation.
Is it? And off we go, and we're going up the road. But as I've got this AK in my mouth, I'm still doing my surveillance. I'm like looking, and I can see there's tanks parked next to that, and I'm trying to in my head work out on the map where we're going. And we've never been this side of the border, but I've got an idea where we're going. We're heading towards a town called Priador. I knew that, and I was like, okay, I've got that. There's tanks over there. I'm thinking about the plan I'm going to brief when I get back instead of really what's going on. And it was kind of swaying every now and again back to, this fucking weapon's in my mouth. Then I went through a phase of, if he breaks my teeth, I'm going to fucking kill him. It was just surreal moments. Anyway, long story short, we end up getting taken to a place, and at the side of the road, coming through one village, it slowed right down, and there was a bunch of people, mainly women at the side of the road, all like waving and screaming. It was as if they knew we were coming, and they're like cheering that we're in that van. That's how it felt to me. Whether that was how it really was, I can't really remember that, but that's what I remember. because I've still got this AK in my fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And we go after, we're off travelling for about 45 minutes maybe, and we're coming over these railway tracks. So again, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, that's a distinctive location.
Yeah.
It's railway tracks, whatever. So when I do get a chance to get out of here and have a look at the map, I'll know where we are. Didn't really see any signs for where we were. And we came over
the whole time he's surveilling, he's looking at his surroundings, he's still thinking like he's gonna get out of this. This is how I'm gonna brief it when I get back. Like he's literally not one time have I heard him talk about like thinking that this is it, like he's gonna die. Not one time have I heard him say in that moment I thought I was gonna die. That's crazy.
Track. So we went left, and as we're going down past this compound, there's an old factory similar to like this in this field. The field was ploughed and muddy and dirty, and it was like a mesh fence all the way around it, old ratty, rusty fence. But in the field was 2 or 3 people on their knees, bald head, like in scraggy old clothes, kneeling. And I was thinking, the fuck are they kneeling in the mud for? The penny didn't drop. They were actually prisoners of this war. Just didn't drop at all. Anyway, they took us into this compound where this building was, and the next one we're in a couple of porter cabins, like police porter cabins, and it was all kind of civil then. They never really beat us anything, but they're quite aggressive with us. And then we sat in almost, you could, like the entrance area, the reception area, if you like, on this bench, not allowed to talk. And then one at a time, we're getting dragged into this room. And there's 2 guys, one behind a desk, very stern looking, very aggressive. One guy behind the desk just staring, not saying a word, just staring me out. And then the other guy in perfect English going, "Who are you? You are not UN, you are Special Forces." I was like, you know, where's all this going? And interrogating, basically. Yeah. And then I'm trying to speak Serbo-Croat. So next thing, they're fucking going at me. And then they picked up on, and I'm thinking, you know, where do I go with this? And I'm going, no, we're UN, you know, I'm playing the game and trying to play the field tied, field warded, all that sort of stuff. And I wasn't really worried. I was just fucking still in this surreal state of mind. Yeah. And then he's got the 2 ID cards. He goes, "How do you know that guy there?" And I goes, "Well, he's been working with us, but he's only been here a short while." And he goes, "You're lying." I was, "No, that was the truth." And he goes, "Your ID card, number 001002. And it was, he'd make it come in, and I was like, you know, but then in my mind, I thought, fucking brilliant. They're picking up on a lot of bullshit trivia. I can play this. This will keep us going. But at the same time thinking, what the fuck are they going to do with us? What's happening here? So this goes on for a period of time, blah, blah, blah. Mick gets dragged in, and he's only in there about a minute. He's back out on him. I'm in again. And we did talk about this after. He goes, "Yeah, because you played the dumb fuck and we'll beast the dumb fuck." That was me. So I was in and out getting interrogated, all this sort of stuff. And we didn't give anything away at all as to what we were doing and why and all that. And then the next thing, after, I don't know how long it was, I'm going to say 6-7 hours maybe. It might have been less, it might have been more. We get fucking dragged out again, thrown in the back of the vehicle, and then driven at speed all the way back to that the checkpoint where we've been taken. Given our kit, thrown out to walk back, just done. And we're like,
that's crazy.
What was that all about?
That's absolutely insane, bro. It's crazy that he was never really in a state of worry either. Never he said they didn't beat us though. They're just very aggressive, but he never worried about like losing his life. Like in any moment, he did. That's kind of crazy. Like to have that kind of mindset. But that's I wonder what that was about as well. Now, like what was it all for? What were you trying to accomplish?
And then we end up back at the and then they're like, you know, wow, welcome back. You know, the blokes, they were putting a plan together to come and rescue us, try and find it. But they didn't know where we were. And basically, we were trying to work out why they were doing this. And I think what it wasn't long after the UN, or under the UN, they bombed the Serb position in Srebrenica, the Srebrenica incident where, you know, they went in, cleansed, they took the people out. Anyway, so then UN, they got permission to bomb the Serbs for their aggressive action. But what had happened, somehow that incident about now the UN's bombing Serbian positions that are not in playing ball, you know,
Yeah.
they're pushing the boundaries. It was reported on the BBC, on the news. And when it was reported about the UN, they said the voice you're going to hear now is a British SAS soldier calling in a jet. So then, obviously, the factions out there, the generals go, these are the SAS are out here, they're the ones who are calling the jets. We still never to this day, my guess, and I think it'd be nice to know what Mick says about this, I think what they were going to do was take us and use us as human shields and fucking basically strap us to the gates of a compound where they've got whatever ammunitions or whatever it is. So if you bomb it, fucking you're going to kill your own people. And that's what I think they were going to do with us.
Dang.
We never really got to the bottom of why they did it, but we did get released. And I know why we got released, basically because once the rest of our team that were with the delegation realised we'd gone, they went, okay, they got permission then to hold the generals. Because when I'd gone, somehow the Serb general made his own way in, went into the meeting, denied anything about us. They denied we'd been down to that checkpoint.
Dang.
It was a bizarre situation. And it was never really, you know, it was just like, okay, that's happened, let's fucking get on with it. I spent all night on the fucking roof watching everyone waiting. And I'm thinking,
that's crazy, bro. That's absolutely wild. Tell me how y'all would feel if stuck in the same situation. So it sounds like, yeah, his partners realize, all right, they're missing. Like, we gonna hold all these generals until they're back or something of that nature. And dang, they didn't bomb the certain positions that wouldn't play ball afterwards, and that would happen. How y'all feel? If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Check out the next one. I'll see you guys next time.